My mom turned me into her full-time caretaker with a fake diagnosis. I found out the truth right after selling my art portfolio to pay her medical bills. I wasn't even gonna answer. She called right when I was getting ready for my first real gallery show. I had paint all over my hands. My brain was in a million places at once. I almost let it go to voicemail, but she kept calling. 3 missed calls in a row. When I picked up, she was crying so hard she could barely talk. I heard hospital sounds in the background, beeping, people talking over an intercom. She said it fast. Stage 4 lymphoma, aggressive. Doctors didn't know how long she had. I just froze. Next thing I knew, I was packing a bag and getting in my car. I drove 5 hours straight back to my hometown. Barely even remember the drive. When I got there, she was lying on the couch under a blanket. She looked tired, but not how I expected. She was talkative, over-explaining a million things about treatments she hadn't even started yet. Holistic stuff, special diets, clinical trials. She kept saying it was going to be fine if we caught it early enough, if we did everything right. I sat there feeling like I couldn't breathe. The whole house smelled the same ratty carpet, same draft from the broken window in the kitchen. It was like I had time traveled and nothing had changed except now there was this huge, awful thing hanging over us. Flashback. I thought about when I was 17, sitting at the kitchen table with my art school rejection letter. She told me it was probably for the best, that the art world would eat me alive. I remember how small that made me feel, like she was glad I didn't get in. I told myself none of that mattered now. This wasn't about me. This was bigger. She needed me. I canceled the gallery show, told them I had a family emergency. I don't even know if they believed me. Packed up my apartment, moved back home. At first, it felt like the right thing, driving her to appointments, picking up prescriptions, making her meals. But then weird stuff started happening. Appointments kept getting rescheduled. Treatments turned into cash-only clinics that didn't even take insurance. Bills started showing up, handwritten ones sometimes, from places I couldn't even find online. I asked questions, but she'd get upset. Said if people found out she was sick, the stress would make it worse. Made me promise not to tell anyone outside the family, so I shut up. I stopped reaching out to friends, stopped posting online, just disappeared. Most nights, she'd call me into her room saying she thought she was dying. Chest pains, fevers, dizzy spells. I'd sit on the edge of the bed and hold her hand until she fell asleep. Half the time, I thought about leaving. The other half, I hated myself for even thinking it. By Christmas, the money was gone. Credit cards maxed, savings wiped. She cried one night about how she couldn't afford another round of treatment. I sat there feeling like the biggest piece of shit alive because I didn't know how to fix it. And then I remembered my portfolio. All my pieces from the last 6 years. Paintings, sketches, sculptures, everything I had built. I hated the idea, but I needed the money. I put a listing up online. A guy messaged me the same night. He didn't even haggle, just said he'd take the whole thing. We met in a parking lot halfway between our towns. I handed over my work. He shoved it into the trunk of a shiny new car and drove off. I sat there for a while after he left. No big dramatic crying fit. No cinematic moment. Just sitting there, feeling empty. When I got home, she was in the kitchen making tea. She smiled when she saw me. A real, genuine smile. The first one I'd seen in months. And I smiled back. Because what else was I supposed to do? Edit. Thanks to the people who are being kind. Not really sure why I'm even posting this here, but it felt good to get it out. But few of y'all had questions, so I will try to answer them. A lot of people are asking if I saw any real medical paperwork. She showed me some stuff early on, but it was mostly pamphlets about holistic treatments and a typed up treatment plan from one of the clinics. No biopsy reports or anything official. I didn't know what to look for. I just believed her. She's my mom. Some people asked if she had insurance. She said she did, but that it wouldn't cover the real treatments that actually work. I didn't question it at the time. I thought she was just trying to do whatever she could to survive. Yes, I canceled my show completely. I didn't try to reschedule. I felt like even asking about it was selfish when my mom was supposedly dying. About selling my portfolio. No, I didn't tell the guy why I was selling it. Just said I needed to offload some work fast. He lowballed me bad, but I took it because we needed the money now, not later. Someone asked if I have any copies or photos of my pieces. I have some pics on my old Instagram, but not everything. A lot of it is just gone now. trying not to think about it too much TBH. Update 1. I wasn't planning to come back, but a few people asked for an update, and honestly, it feels easier to type it here than try to explain to anyone in real life. Not a lot of good news. Since my first post, things have just gotten heavier. Mom's symptoms come and go. Some days she's too sick to get out of bed. Other days she's moving around like nothing's wrong. She says it's the treatment's working, but they're expensive as hell. None of it's covered by insurance. The alternative clinics, she's going to keep asking for cash up front. No payment plans, no invoices, just handwritten receipts, if they even bother. When I ask questions, she gets defensive, like I'm attacking her. So I stopped asking. The money from selling my portfolio is basically gone now. I thought it would last longer, but between clinic bills, supplements, organic food she needs, and random emergencies, it burned fast. She keeps saying we're so close to a breakthrough that we can't quit now, but every week it's something else she needs. Some new IV drip, some new protocol. I tried to set up a GoFundMe, but it barely got any traction. Old friends shared it, a few donated small amounts, but it wasn't even close to what we needed. I reached out to some old art contacts, people from school, galleries I interned at. Most didn't answer. A couple said they were sorry but couldn't help. Can't even blame them. Nobody owes me anything. Still hurt though. Mom keeps calling me her angel and saying she wouldn't still be alive if it wasn't for me. I know she means it as a compliment, but it feels like a chain around my neck. Some nights she calls me into her room sobbing, saying she's scared she's gonna die alone if I ever leave. I tell her I'm not going anywhere, and I mean it. But every time I say it, I feel like I lose a piece of myself. I don't really have a life outside of this anymore. I don't go anywhere unless it's running errands for her. I don't paint. I don't sketch. I can't even look at my supplies without feeling sick. I tried doodling in the margins of an old notebook the other day while waiting for her at one of the clinics. She saw it when she got back in the car and got really quiet. Later that night, she said she felt like I wasn't fully present anymore and that negative energy could undo all her progress. So I stopped. She asked me a few nights ago if I'd ever consider selling the rest of my stuff, old textbooks, supplies, even some furniture I brought with me when I moved home, to keep fighting. She said it in this soft voice, like she hated to ask, but didn't know what else to do. And I said yes. Of course I said yes. What was I supposed to do? Tell her no and watch her get sicker? I listed everything I had left that was worth anything. Sold my laptop to a guy off Craigslist. Sold a bunch of my old prints for pennies. It wasn't enough. She keeps talking about this new clinic out of state that guarantees remission if you start their 90-day program. It costs more than anything we've paid so far. I don't know how the hell we're gonna afford it. She said she's thinking about selling the car, the house, but then she gets emotional and says she couldn't handle losing the home she built her life in, and then I end up promising her, again, that I'll figure it out. I'm tired all the time. I don't even know if I believe in anything we're doing anymore. But every time I think about quitting, I remember that first phone call, her crying, begging me to come home. What else can I do? She's my mom. Even if none of this makes sense anymore, even if it feels like I'm burning my whole life down, I can't just walk away, right? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Update 2. Didn't think I'd be back here, but some weird shit's been happening and I don't really know who else I can talk to about it. Things got worse after my last post. Money's even tighter. She talks a lot about selling the house but never actually makes any moves. We started going to fewer clinics. She said it was because her immune system was too weak to travel. Mostly it's just me running errands, picking up special foods and vitamins she says she needs. I spend a lot of time alone now, more than I ever have. Feels like my whole world shrunk down to this house and her bedroom door. The first thing that made me pause happened a couple weeks ago. She was supposed to be at a treatment all day. I dropped her off at the clinic in town, small sketchy building next to a pawn shop, not even joking, and drove to the grocery store to grab some stuff. On my way back, I took a shortcut through the nicer part of town because I was sick of staring at the same 4 streets. I stopped at a light and looked over, and there she was, Mom, standing in the window of one of those expensive little boutiques, holding up a dress against herself and laughing with some woman I didn't recognize. No mask, no wig, no sign of being sick at all. She looked fine, better than I'd seen her in months. At first I thought maybe it was denial, like maybe she was trying to live a normal day between treatments. But something about it felt wrong. If she was strong enough to shop and laugh with friends, Why was she too weak to go to half her appointments? I didn't say anything, I just drove home. When she got back later, she pretended she had just finished her treatment, even faked being woozy and asked me to help her up the steps. I played along. The second thing happened a few nights ago. She was passed out early, or pretending to be, I don't even know anymore, and I was cleaning up the living room, found her treatment bag tipped over by the couch. Inside was mostly junk. Bottles of lavender oil, some vitamins, a couple brochures for mindfulness retreats. No medication. No prescriptions. Nothing you'd expect for someone supposedly fighting late-stage cancer. It felt like getting punched in the gut. I sat there for a long time staring at it all, trying to make it make sense. Maybe she was trying to heal naturally. Maybe the real meds were upstairs. Maybe I was just being paranoid. Or maybe I wasn't. Then yesterday my cousin came over. She's in med school, just finished her second year. I guess word got around the family that Mom was sick because she showed up with flowers and a big care package. Mom freaked out, wouldn't come out of her room, told me to handle it. So I sat on the porch, with my cousin awkwardly making small talk. Eventually she asked what kind of cancer it was. I told her lymphoma. She frowned and asked if she could see any of the paperwork, said she'd be happy to look over it, maybe even help explain treatment options. I told her I didn't have any official paperwork. She looked at me like I'd grown two heads. Later that night, she texted me asking what clinic Mom was going to. I sent her a picture of one of the pamphlets Mom had lying around. 5 minutes later, she called me. Apparently that clinic isn't even a licensed medical facility. It's basically a spa that sells herbal detoxes and sound baths. No doctors, no nurses, nothing legit. I felt like I was gonna throw up. And the worst part is, none of this even surprised me. Somewhere deep down, I think I already knew, or at least suspected. I remembered something stupid from when I was a kid. One time in 4th grade, I faked a fever because I didn't want to take a math test. Mom found me sitting next to the heater with a thermometer, and instead of getting mad, she smiled, told me, "You're smart like me." I didn't really get it at the time. I think I get it now. I don't know what to do. I haven't confronted her. I'm scared too. I feel like if I call her out, everything will fall apart. And the part of me that still feels like a scared little kid just wants her to love me enough to tell the truth. But the adult part of me, the part that sold everything I had, who wakes up in cold sweats thinking about all the time and money I'll never get back, I just know I can't keep pretending much longer. Update 3. It's been a couple weeks since I last posted. I needed time to figure out what the hell I was gonna do. I didn't want to just react and blow everything up without being 100% sure. So I started paying attention. I stopped running every time she said she needed something. I stopped panicking when she cried. I just watched. Every day she forgot to go to an appointment, I made a note. Every time she said she was too sick to eat, but then snuck junk food from the pantry later, I made a note. Every time she talked about some new miracle cure clinic, I took pictures of the brochures and Googled them. Not a single one was an actual cancer treatment center. I even called the old clinic she said she was being treated at and asked to schedule a follow-up for her. The woman who answered sounded confused, said they weren't accepting cancer patients at this time and hadn't been for years. I recorded the call. A few days after that, I found a bunch of receipts stuffed in the back of her desk drawer. Boutique clothing, spa treatments, nail salons, thousands of dollars. All during the time she was supposedly too weak to leave the house. It stopped feeling confusing after that. It just felt ugly and sad. I didn't even cry. I didn't feel anything at all for a few days. I started packing up my stuff quietly, didn't make a scene, didn't want to give her a chance to spin it, but I knew I couldn't just ghost. I needed to say it, out loud, for me, not for her. So I waited until Sunday night when we always had dinner together. She made meatloaf, acted like everything was normal. Halfway through the meal, I told her I had something I needed to show her. I pulled out a folder I put together, receipts, screenshots, the recording of the clinic call transcribed. I didn't yell, I didn't accuse, I just slid it across the table and said, "Tell me the truth before I stop listening." She went dead quiet. Her face didn't even register shock, just flat, like she was thinking really fast. First, she tried to cry, said I didn't understand, said she was sick, but the doctors gave up on her so she had to find her own way. When I didn't react, she flipped, started screaming, accused me of abandoning her, said I was killing her with my doubt, said if she died, it would be my fault. At one point, she grabbed her wine glass and threw it against the wall. It shattered and sprayed across the carpet. As she kept going, pacing, sobbing, grabbing random things and slamming them down, I waited until she ran out of steam, waited until her voice got hoarse and she sank down onto the floor like she was the one who'd been attacked. And then I stood up, picked up my bag, walked to the door. She begged me not to go, swore she could explain, swore she needed me. I didn't say anything. Before I left, I pulled out my pocket knife, the one I kept on my keyring since college, and carved something into the edge of the kitchen table. I didn't look back to see if she read it. I drove away that night with everything I could fit into my car, left everything else behind. I'm sitting in a shitty motel writing this because I don't know where I'm gonna end up yet. I've got maybe a few $100 to my name and whatever clothes I could cram into a laundry bag. But for the first time in months, maybe years, the air feels lighter. I don't know what comes next. I'm scared shitless, but at least it's real. I'll post again when I figure out my next steps. It's been a while. I figured I owed you guys one last update. I found a place. Barely. Tiny basement apartment in a rough part of town. Mold in the bathroom, floor slant, neighbors scream at each other through the walls. But it's mine. No one cries outside my door at 2 a.m. No one fakes a heart attack to keep me from leaving the house. I'm working 2 jobs right now. One in the stockroom at a craft store. Other one is late-night janitorial at an office building. They both suck, but I get paid, and nobody depends on me for anything but showing up. Most of my stuff is still back at my mom's. I don't even care anymore. I'm sleeping on a mattress on the floor, eating cheap ramen, drawing on the backs of receipts and napkins when I get the chance. Haven't touched real paint yet. Can't afford canvases or supplies right now. But it's whatever. It'll happen when it happens. Couple weeks ago, I mailed something back to the house. No return address. Just a blank canvas, still wrapped in plastic. No note, no message, just empty. I don't know if she got it. I don't really care. She tried calling me after I left. A lot. Left voicemails crying, apologizing, begging. Then the tone switched. Angry messages about how I abandoned her, how she could have died alone because of me. I blocked her number 2 weeks ago. Blocked her on everything. Had to. I found out through my cousin, the one in med school, that my mom's telling the family I stole from her and ran off. Said I faked everything to make her look bad. Whatever. Let her spin whatever story she needs to sleep at night. I'm not explaining myself anymore. I'm too busy trying to fix my life. Started reworking some sketches from memory. Pieces I sold off when I thought she was dying. Not to replace them. That's impossible. But just to remind myself I can still make something from nothing. Feels weird. Feels good too. No big emotional speech here. No, I'm stronger now bullshit. I'm just living. One shift, one paycheck, one napkin sketch at a time. That's enough for now. Thanks to everyone who commented and DM'd. Even the ones who said the hard stuff I didn't want to hear at the time. You guys were right. Commenter 1. Bro, she 100% has narcissistic personality disorder. This is textbook. Fake illnesses to control people, gaslighting, love bombing then rage. Jesus, you're not crazy. You were raised by crazy. OP's reply. Starting to realize a lot of stuff makes more sense now, TBH. Commenter 2. IDK man. Sounds fake. You're telling me you gave up your whole life and sold everything without ever demanding real proof? Come on. OP's reply. Yeah, I know how it sounds. It's different when it's your mom and you're scared out of your mind. Believe me or don't. Commenter 3. Low-key think OP was kinda dumb. Sorry, but if my mom started asking for cash and refusing to show real medical paperwork, I'm out. Day 1. Commenter 4. You're building your life from scratch now. That's not failure. That's bravery. Sketch those napkins like they're masterpieces. OP's reply. Appreciate this more than you know. Saving this comment NGL. Commenter sunk. Hope one day OP gets rich and famous, and mom sees her blank canvas selling for $100,000, just so she knows what she fumbled. OP's reply. El Mao. If that ever happens, I'll be sure to update.